Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. So let's get ready to first bring in one of my men. He's a filmmaker though. He's not even a comic. I'm gonna bring in a comic in a second. My man Jason Hayes is in the building. Jason, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
Hey, everything's good, brother. Good to be here, man.
Thank you for always covering for me, bro. I mean, I might have to send you a card or something for Christmas or
All
something.
right. That's good. We all good.
I'll have to do something special for you. The comedian in the building right now is a comedian. He's born and raised, I think, and definitely made his bones on the West Coast. Now resided in Houston. My man Daniel Dugard, Double D. How you doing, bro? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. How you brothers doing?
All right. So
So,
I
dude,
want to before I jump into the show, I want to talk about something that I saw that's not really getting a lot of press. I'm gonna start with you, Jason, because obviously you did the HBCU thing, and obviously you still stay tied into what's going on with college and everything else. Dugard, pay attention to this too, bro. Listen to this. Hundreds of college football players have signed a group licensing agreement for their likeness to be used in video games in what is expected to be the single largest commercial deal in the industry's history, eclipsing 20 million and perhaps touching more than hundreds of schools. We all know about the NIL agreements and things like that. Jason, talk to me, bro, and tell me what you think about this, because I know you still have boots on the ground of what's going on in college and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on this? And do you think they're underpaid?
I mean, I want to know, who's gonna get the cut. What's the cut breakdown? Because even like with EA Sports, they actually break it down according to like what school recognition you have, and so everybody
Right.
don't get the same cut. And I think it's something like 300 and something like Division I member institutions, or what is 20 million amongst like 300 schools, with like, and now the roster I think is like 110 players per roster now you're allowed to have. So that's 110 times
Yeah.
300. I mean, how does that break down? So I mean, I'm happy they're getting paid, but their money should be more.
Right. Double D up first before I even say anything. Let me just thank the business bully, because of course, as soon as we talk about money, he pops up.
Oh, you already know. I'm like Candyman. All you gotta do is say revenue, 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 and I show up.
The business bully in the bell. I'm gonna talk to you about this in a second. Daniel Dugard, comedian extraordinaire, bro. We talk about sports all the time. You and I, we have this thing we talk about this all the time and everything else. And one thing we talk about that you can say, it might be consistent, is we talk about attitudes of players on teams like that. We have this conversation, and we have had it in the past. What are your thoughts on this right now? Because the money now is trickling to college players and the millions with NIL deals and things like that. Do you think it's going to make the league and these young boys worse? Because right now it's starting to trickle with college football, college basketball, baseball. You know what I mean? It's gonna spread out. What's your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, I'm all for the players being paid for their likeness. Uh, but it has to be structured in a way, man, to where you don't have these kids developing an entitled energy and attitude around the money. And because some of these kids make more than the coaches.
Right.
And that's crazy. Though I was a fan of Shador and what Prime did, I couldn't stand it when Shador was always flashing the watch, and doing all that stuff. I was just like, for what? Why? Why? What is it? The optics? I mean, so I think the kids should be paid for their likeness, but it should be structured in a way, kind of like when you would get that Pell Grant payment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, based based on grades, energy, attitude, what they bring into the team. Because you don't want to get a kid and pay him, and then he's cocky and he don't put the work in. I'm paid. I'm getting that bag and whatever, this and that. I hate that energy, man. I hate that energy, and I don't care.
Dave,
Yeah,
let me just interrupt you and just say one thing. Don't and I hate to interrupt when people are saying that thing, but don't you think it's a little too late for that, bro? Don't you think they are already doing that?
I believe they already are. That's one of the few things that I don't like about the NIL.
Right. 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 Well, the reason why I posed it to you, D, because we talk, like I said, we talk about this. You got family in the NBA. You got, you talk to ex players and things like that. So the reason why I posed it to you like that is because I know that you probably would see it from a different aspect than the average person would see it. Now, let me ask the business bully, the business side of this, bro. And I know you got comedy coming up, pouring out your skin on this, bro. But ultimately, at the end of the day, man, when you look at this, how do you look at this as a good thing? I mean, we want the players to get paid, but D just literally said the one thing that I think is going to resonate is the players' attitude and the cockiness at a college level. You know what I mean?
Wow. Not to be racially insensitive here, Frank, but I thought we were black people on this show. And if we are, not just me, I can't speak for y'all, but I thought this is a black show. If we are, then we also have to have a responsibility during Black History Month to understand the history of the NCAA. You're talking about 1906. So from 1906 to 1940, they were chilling. Nobody cared because let's face it, white people playing basketball is not that exciting unless you're talking about Bill Laimbeer or Larry Bird. But let me land my plane on this. Around 1940, they decided that once black people showed up and found innovative ways to put balls in holes, pause, no diddy, what wound up happening was they said, well, you know what? We don't need them out here being arrogant. We don't need them out here, getting too big for their britches. And, we want to make sure that we keep it, to just have working class kids who just want to get an education. The talking points about cockiness and this, I love Daniel Dugar, so this ain't even me tripping. The talking points about cockiness when it comes to everybody but Shedeur Sanders, it is rooted in systemic racism. And so them not getting paid while they have made trillions of dollars since their inception, because all you're seeing is what they actually report. You're not looking at all the other loopholes. And trust me, I've done this and I know enough players who can tell you when you look at those books, they're horrendous. But let me say this and then I'll be done with it. What do you expect from Shedeur, aka Subprime Sanders, other than him being as arrogant as his father, who made a song called Must Be the Money and starred in the first stuffed crust pizza commercial with Jerry Jones? And Jerry Jones said, how much do you want? 15, 20 million. And Deion Sanders said both. Like, he was raised in arrogance. But yeah, no, everybody should get paid. And I don't know if you know this or not, Phil Jackson, arguably the greatest coach in basketball history, has never made as much as Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman. Most coaches don't make as much as the players. So it shouldn't be any different in the NCAA.
Okay.
Hey, Frank, real quick though. See,
now you, Jason. Let me ask you a question. You say a statement, and let me because I want to say something. Go ahead, Jay. Which one?
So the dirty little secret that people don't talk about with college sports is, excuse me, there are no 4-year scholarships, bro. Mm-mm. Every scholarship is 1 year renewable. Yep. So if that kid comes in there and he ain't what they thought he was, that kid ain't gonna be there, brother. Yeah. So I don't worry about the arrogance. I don't worry about any of that stuff happening or whatever. I mean, and also NIL dollars, they're not earmarked for that kid specifically. The dollars are there for for that position. And whether that kid plays that position or somebody else plays that position, they're gonna straighten it out. So no, I don't worry about that at all.
That's a great point. I didn't even think of that. I completely didn't even. I glossed over.
Right.
But what I was going to ask you, because I want to just ask all this one more question. I'm going to go one more round with this. But I was going to ask you specifically is now if you're looking at video game money now, because NIL money is one type of money. It's obviously it's name, image, and likeness. For those of you sitting at home and not understand what it is, name, image, and likeness, and it's mostly made for T-shirts. But now the thing is, when you're including video game money, just one video game alone brings in billions. You know what I mean? Like Madden alone. Let's look at the numbers. And I don't even have the numbers in front of me. I breezed over them months ago, and I was looking at it for something else. Madden alone, the latest Madden alone, came in and brought in maybe $2 billion when it was released. Overall, it's made over 15 or 20 billion last time I looked. I'm sure Business Bully gonna probably up and have it ready for us to go in a second. But either we're talking billions now because now we're talking video games. Does that change anything for you, Jay, the way you're looking at it? Because NIL money is one type of money, but video game money is a different kind of thing, I think. What you think, Jay?
So, I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier in that I want to know what the breakdown is, like what the revenue is, because they just brought back the NCAA video game last year. And prior to recently, they used these players and their numbers, but not their names, and they didn't compensate them on any level. So now they're being compensated, like I said, 20 million. That don't sound like a lot of money to like divide up amongst 300 universities. And from what I've read, it seems like the college gets paid much more than the kids get paid. So I don't even know how that even works out, to be honest.
Well,
I
right
can
now
tell you that.
they didn't even do the breakdown of that. But the reason why I wanted to bring it down is because one thing that Double D and I have been talking about for a while is the attitudes of the players and like I've been talking about this with my homies for a while. There's arrogance throughout the NBA, there's arrogance throughout ML, there's arrogance throughout professional level athletes on a regular basis anyway. But D, the thing is, you mentioned is the issue now is the
just
player.
piggybacking on what business said. His daddy is arrogant. I grew up around dope dealers. I ain't sell dope.
Ooh, great point.
But is your daddy a
So
dope dealer?
no, yeah.
Mhm.
So I didn't do that. I chose another path.
Mhm.
And I love Prime. I remember when he was with the Niners when I was in the Bay. But the thing is, you don't have to follow what was before you. You can carve your own path.
Sure.
So for me, I'm an alumni product of Coach Carter. I was a
Mhm.
baller. I played ball in high school and college, but I could score, but I never needed to be braggadocious about it. You saw what happened. That's that. At the end of the day, what does it do? It always when we do that, we're already in a box that they want to put us in where we don't belong to expect those type of things. But his faith base and his daddy's faith base, that's what I would say you follow,
Mhm.
in regards to not gloating, not all of this and all of that. But back to the video game money. Like my man down here said, what's the breakdown? What's the total amount? Because 20 million over 300 schools sound like $85 per player a month to me. I don't know the numbers, but Business Bully, you know how to do them numbers real quick.
Yeah.
But that's like 10 cents on the dollar, man.
Yeah, but D, is this the beginning of the end? Because once you start getting in, once the floodgates open, bro, we're looking at something different, I think.
You know what? It's too soon to even say that. It's too
Okay.
soon. It's too soon to even predict if it's the beginning of the end.
Okay, I'll let you go with that one. The Business Bully, I'm sure he got the number breakdown on this and way it
Sure.
looked like. Go ahead, bro.
So basically, you're breaking it down. If the numbers are correct, then you're looking at per school $66,666.67, right? Which, if you got 30 players, equals about $2,222. Which, if you break that down per semester, you're dealing with about $1,100 a pop, which is an 1,100% increase on what they were getting, but it's still pocket change and chicken feed. The thing that I think everybody is missing in this conversation is that we never get on these provosts. We never get on these university presidents. We never get on these governors or mayors who have no problem when a school is winning a championship, sitting up here bragging, having entire press conferences, and we don't ever have a conversation about their lack of humility. Also, if we're talking faith-based, then there's Matthew 5:15, which says, you do not hide your light under a bushel, but you make it plain in order to exalt the Lord. Everybody else gets to talk about being the best, right? The few, the proud, the Marines. Pride goes before the fall, but it's in the Marine slogan. Be all that you can be. We do that for absolutely everything. But when Black people who have athletic prowess or academic prowess or any type of physical prowess, it's always about, no, don't you be talking like that.
I think that's two different arguments.
On the
I
game.
think that's two different arguments. That's two different arguments. It's not the same to me. That's not the same to me.
Is it interfering in their ability to play the game?
I don't think it is.
Then what does it matter?
It doesn't really matter. That's too different. I'm just telling you, me personally, what I don't like being a former coach and this and that and that. I never wanted my kids that were phenomenal athletes to shit on another kid because they were phenomenal athletes. You beat them, you beat them. You don't have to put it in their face. You don't have to throw pie in their face. You don't have to do that. Be humble.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, let's switch gears, bro. Let's get to the hot, heavy topic of the day right now. And I'm sure everybody's seen it. It's been rolling around all day long. We've been talking about it for a week. Shout out to all the people who are tuning in, to Renee, my man Ben. I got a couple people tuning in from YouTube. I can't see their names. Thank you all for watching. Jay, as a person who we've been going back and forth with right now, it's no surprise. Aaron Rodgers was officially released from the New York Jets this week. No surprise. I think the biggest surprise would probably be where he lands more so than what he was when he was released. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest surprise. We talked about it. I even asked you several times where you see him going. The news even leaked out 2 hours ago that he's leaning heavy towards the Raiders. Heavy towards the Raiders. Go there with Pete Carroll. Your thoughts?
He
Jason?
might make sense with the Raiders, as a bridge quarterback, because if he is available, I'm almost certain the Raiders are going to take Shedeur Sanders.
Me too.
And I don't think that any quarterback is done a disservice by being able to sit a year, to sit and watch, get acclimated, to what it's like, see what's going on. And I think Pete Carroll might be about the only head coach who can deal with Aaron Rodgers right now, to be honest, and maybe get the most out of him. It's a dome, perfect conditions all the time for him, for like at least half the games. So the Raiders would make a lot of sense for him, to be honest. But honestly, he can end up anywhere.
Yeah, he really could. Double D, there's been a couple of other teams that we talked about during this week. We got the Colts, Vikings, Giants, Steelers, and Titans, who are all circling the drain too. Even though, like I said, the Raiders right now is the one who's leading the pack. Of those teams, I also mentioned everything else. I've been saying I think he's going to be on the Vikings. I've been saying it because I don't know if they're going to do the Sam Darnold thing because he's going to be too expensive. I don't know. What makes sense to you, D?
I pray to God he retires. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. I mean, it's like, why do you guys keep holding on to yesteryear?
Right.
He showed us what he did the last 2 years. Get rid of him. And if he did, for whatever weird reason of the Raiders organization, yeah, Pete Carroll's a great motivator, but do the Raiders have an O-line?
What you think about the Steelers, though, then D? What you think about the Steelers? Make sense for you then? Because he's
Him
gonna
and Tom, yeah, he's gonna play. I know, bro. I hate to say it, but I know.
Yeah.
Him in Pittsburgh would be a good look.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tomlin outside of Pete Carroll. Yeah. I think so. I don't think the ego would get beyond Tomlin. I don't think it would get beyond Pete Carroll because Pete Carroll has a big ego too. But I really pray that I'm gonna put that in prayer tonight, man. I really appreciate y'all talking about this tonight. That he retires, man. I'm sick of Aaron Rodgers.
Bro, I don't even know if I would even wish my prayer on that one, but I understand.
I know, man. There's power in prayer, brother.
There is. But sometimes the no means a yes. You know what I mean? Sometimes
I know.
You know how that go. So Dave, the thing is this, because you always talk about money, I think the NFL is going to steer him to go where it makes the most sense and makes the most money. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Right.
And I would love it to be the Vikings, but like I said, I think it might be the Raiders. The Colts doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? You got the Colts, you got the Giants. That don't make no sense to me. The Titans doesn't make sense to me that much sense. But the Steelers and the Raiders make the most sense. Which makes the most sense to you from a financial standpoint?
I think the Raiders makes the most sense financially because that's the team everybody's looking at, regardless of whatever. Do you remember back when the Carolina Panthers were introduced and the Jacksonville Jaguars were introduced? I was a freshman in college, and when we got that Madden 95, every player had a 99 rating because nobody knew what to expect. The newness of the Raiders being in Vegas and everything that's happening there. Yes, Pete Carroll's 73 years old. Aaron Rodgers is the one thing that the majority of the NFL fans love. He's white and he's the name you know.
Right.
But as a praying man, not just a statistician, I'm with Dugar on this because the Bible says where two or three are gathered, there I am in the midst. And I need Jesus to be an intercessor right now to get this tired, wackadoo, wannabe white man who wants to be the great white hope out of my football. I think God can heal us all.
Hey, what's funny? I feel like Jeff Brown is going to walk behind Dave right now.
See, now what happens is
Great quote. Great. That was awesome.
Yes, man. Hilarious.
Very true. Very true.
Oh
Very
man.
true. I want to come back to the NFL in a second, though, man, because I want to talk about. I want to make sure I get this in, and then I'm gonna come back to the NFL. I'm gonna bounce all over the place today because I just feel like it. Jason, I gotta talk to you about this, bro. I'm talking to all you about this. The NBA is having an All-Star Weekend this weekend. The news was released a couple of hours ago that Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu is not going to compete. I looked at the numbers. Here's the crazy thing about it, Jay. I looked at the numbers on the NBA All-Star Week. It's at an all-time low. But when Steph Curry and Sabrina competed last week, they saw a 35% increase. And I'm saying it again. They saw a 35% increase in viewership. And then when that thing was over, they lost that 35%, So now here's the crazy reason why I wanted to bring it up. People are talking about it today on all the message boards. I saw it like 5 different places. Can't wait to ask Dugar about this. I saw 5 different places. People are thinking about implementing the WNBA more so in NBA All-Star Weekend. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, that sounds terrible, man.
But explain that. You got to explain that, bro, because when the women were inserted with that, they're saying the viewership went up. You know what I mean? For All-Star Weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with them being like a part of it. I actually like that a lot. But you cannot make them the centerpiece of it, bro. I mean, that's just not. I don't think that that they're falling is huge enough to do that. And it's about like taking care of the main thing. And the main thing, excuse me, are the dudes. And it's just a really stale format right now. They need to figure out how to make the format better, update it from like 1976 when Dr. J first jumped from the free throw line, and figure out how to better incorporate what's going on now that's going to appeal to modern day young people.
Jay, I'm gonna have to give you a flower for that 1976 reference for Dr. J, bro. I forgot all about that, bro. That was a kudos to you. Dugar. The crazy thing is like I mentioned to Jason, it's at an all-time low. All-time low. It's so bad. Hold on. Listen to it. It's so bad that the NBA is literally considering of canceling All-Star Weekend. So right now their options are include women, WNBA, figure out the format if this format don't work, or canceling the All-Star Weekend altogether.
NBA All-Star Weekend is really boring. It's so crazy. Me and Derek was talking about this morning in his Uber because he had the Celtics game last night, which I wish I would have been able to get you tickets. We were talking about it, and we both agreed it should be American-born NBA All-Stars
I know where you're going
versus European-born NBA All-Stars. $2 million per player for the winner, $1 million to the player and $1 million to their charity of choice. Now you got ego, you got that bravado to where are the European players better than the American players? Let's go at it. It's kind of like an NBA Olympic All-Star get down. Now they're gonna play some ball. They're gonna play some defense, they're gonna set picks, they're gonna really ball. Now it becomes even a bigger global thing where those little kids in Slovenia, in Germany, in Spain are really going to dial in and say, yo, we got some sense of pride because us European players are better than the American players. I think that would jack up the ratings.
Yep, sure.
I think if Caitlin Clark and Steph and the young lady who did the 3-point last year, you just put those 3 in it, I think the ratings will probably go up 60%. You have them in the 3-point contest. The slam dunk contest, it either needs to be thrown out or you can't use any props. You can't jump over nobody. You can't do none of that. Just game style dunking. Outside of that, man, the NBA All-Star Weekend is garbage now.
Yeah, everything he said, Dave. Everything he said is on point. Everything he says is on point. I can't dispute one thing he said. What's your
I don't
thoughts
argue
on
with
this?
logic.
Yeah, I don't
argue
either.
with logic.
I don't either. And ultimately, I hate to say this, but I think unless the NBA makes the changes that Dugar said, because I've been saying the same thing. Like literally, they need to figure out a way to do the pros versus the European players. Figure that out. I think it's going to be canceled. I think we're looking at it being canceled.
Everything should lead to something else, man. You know I'm a big comic book fan. When you look at what Marvel has done versus other movie houses that have tried to do comic book adaptations, it sucks because people look and say, "Oh wow, that's Spider-Man," and I'm like, "You're in New York. You should be used to seeing the Fantastic Four, the X-Men coming down from Westchester. Like there should be some cohesion here. There should be an interconnected universe. And if your plan over the next 5 years is to expand to all of these places that love basketball so much, or like China, gonna talk about China, it's a fun place, love China. Or any place in Europe, Germany, the Germans love brats, not brats, can't stand brats. So if you're doing that, then put those folks on display. Like there was a time when you had TV shows, and if the TV show was doing well, you created a spinoff. But in order for that spinoff to make sense, you do a test pilot within the world of the actual show and show that test pilot on the show by having some interconnectivity. And that's what the All-Star Game gives you an opportunity to do for free with millions of eyes and ears that would not normally be watching a typical NBA product. But then again, here I am making business sense and let the NBA snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
This dude David's on one today. Jason, let's switch gears, bro. I want to talk about something that I call respect in the league. I want to call that respect in the league with the big headlines. Respect. What is respectful and what is disrespectful when it comes in the NBA? The reason why I'm bringing it up is because Tristan Thompson went out and dunked the ball last night. You saw the highlights. You know what I'm talking about. I should have had the highlight. I meant to have the highlight, and I was just doing other things. Meant to have the highlight. If you missed it at home, Tristan Thompson plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were playing Toronto Raptors last night. I don't know if you saw it, Jay, last night. They were up by 25 plus. You know how players just dribble out the clock. The ball was passed to him. People are just standing around. He bolts for the dunk, and he dunks the ball. He just goes and dunks the ball right then and there. And next thing you know, frenzy, goes up. The players on both sides are now, you know what I mean? They charging at each other. And the coach of the Toronto Raptors said that was completely and utterly disrespectful. I don't know. What's your take on that? I have something I could say about that. Where you come at that from, Jason?
I mean, as a basketball player, to me, I'm like, it's in the game. You already got smoked. I mean, what do you care about a dunk at the end of the game, bro? I mean, now I also understand what happened afterwards because they got smoked on the court. It's one of the situations where we didn't win the game, so we gonna win the fight. I've been in those situations too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was a dunk necessarily that triggered that. I just think that they got smoked, and then the dude just did a dunk or whatever, and they just wanted to win the fight.
Interesting take. D, obviously you play ball, you got family members in the NBA and everything else. I'm sure you probably talk about this with your cousin too. So what's your take on this?
Play ball until the whistle blows, man. Don't be mad at the other guy that he wanted to dunk. Maybe he wanted to test out a dunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who knows? But play the whistle. You play the game until it's over. It being a form of disrespect, what the coach at Toronto said, I gotta flip it now and go back to what Jason and Business Bully were saying about the young black athletes with the bravado. The coach saying that is definitely coming from a white coach point of view of respectability and gentleman-like qualities and this kind of thing. But hey, it happens. Tristan probably wanted to dunk the ball. Play the whistle, man. Play the whistle.
It's funny that neither one of you said that it's an unwritten rule that NBA players don't do that. Like NBA players, when you're up by whatever it is and the game's officially over, you're just dribbling out the clock. It's an unwritten rule that, okay, I'll let you dribble out the clock. You know what I mean? And you, especially if you have the ball, it's like an unwritten rule. So D,
it's an unwritten rule based on who's dribbling the ball.
Oh, okay. That's the way you look at it. All right. I didn't look at it like that.
I mean, I don't look at it like that neither, but in reality, I mean, whoever's dribbling the ball, is he going to dribble it out or is he going to try to shoot a three-pointer? Is he going to try to do a dunk? Is he going to try to do a layup? It's based on that individual that's dribbling the basketball. Just because you have an unwritten rule, it's not official. That don't mean I have to abide by it.
So it's not disrespectful then in your eyes at all. Like you just.
I think it's both. I think it's disrespectful, but I also believe play the damn whistle.
Okay. All right.
Play the whistle.
I
I
can't
don't believe
listen.
that exists in basketball, Frank.
Huh?
I don't believe that exists in basketball. I mean, they're trying to like make basketball like some kind of unwritten baseball rules. I mean, like the
But
only
there are
unwritten rules in basketball are like watch your tone and watch what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like challenging dudes, like in a disrespectful kind of way. Or let's say, if a dude's just standing around, he like jumped over the dude neck to dunk it. I mean, that's disrespectful. But at the end of the game, man, it's like he just putting it through the rim, man. He don't care. Trying to get his name in the paper, man. Come on.
I'm
Unless
not
he
gonna
knows
lie.
something about Vegas, unless he got some Vegas bet or know somebody with the
Hey,
numbers.
Dugar, that's something different.
Yes,
You
that's
know, now,
do
if them
That's
numbers
something
was
different.
involved, hey man, I need to score this because my boy riding on 300,000.
You never
you
know.
know what?
You never know.
You open up a door, a whole different subject, bro. Whole different
But see,
subject.
that's why I think when an NBA team comes to Vegas, because I believe one is coming,
Yeah, it is.
and the
That's true.
NFL, I believe down the road there's going to be some backlash with sports in Vegas, professional sports in Vegas.
Yo, there definitely will be.
Mm.
100% definitely will be. But since we're talking about the NBA, let's stay there right there. What you think about the Paul George experiment over there with the Sixers, bro? Because believe it or not, since he came there with the Sixers got worse. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George was supposed to be the three to get the Sixers to break the roof of what they did and get to the Eastern Conference Finals to set it off with the Celtics and at least get past over the hump of the Knicks. That's what the plan was. Paul George scored 0 points last night, bro. Zero. He's gotten worse. What's your take on this, bro? What's going on?
I mean, what has Daryl Morey done that's ever worked? Right?
Great point.
So Paul George was hurt all the time with the Clippers. He was hurt all the time in Indiana, and he was young then. So for you to feel like that dude was the difference between you and a championship, you bringing an off-injured dude to play with an off-injured dude, we knew this wasn't going to work, bro. I mean, when they made the deal, I was like, that makes no sense for the kind of money of Paul George. So I'm not surprised at all that what's happening is happening. And Daryl Morey is never going to make a good decision about anything.
I think they should have some kind of big major clause, and of course the Players Association ain't going to agree with this, but I think they should have some major clause that if you get hurt X amount of times that you can't even go to another team and because you mess up the franchise. You know what I mean? Like the Sixers have messed up for a long time. You know what I mean? With Joel Embiid situation and Paul George, they're screwed.
GM got a job too, Frank.
I know. You're right.
Hey, do your job, do your due diligence. Players play.
Players play.
They know the rules.
What's your take on the Sixers right now? Because honestly, they are worse. Like I said to Jason, they are worse. And
Joel Embiid might sooner than later be on the trade blocks.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah,
and Paul George. That it goes back to what I was saying. Why are we trading and playing for these players of yesteryear? Why? You got so many phenomenal young athletes. If you give them the playing time, they could develop. That's one of the things I feel about the Warriors at Kuminga. If you really gave that kid playing time when you guys were winning championships, when he was in a D League, he would be better along. But I really think Embiid is going to ask for a trade.
Yeah, but who would trade for him? Like, would you take that risk?
There's a lot of teams that would trade for him. There's a lot of teams that trade. I think any team in the NBA would trade for Embiid and just deal with it.
I don't agree with that at all. I'm sorry.
Only Denver wouldn't trade for him.
Yeah,
Denver don't need him. Denver don't need him.
That's all. Denver and San Antonio.
Yeah, in San Antonio. Most other teams, I mean, he's gonna bring value, but he's a wounded warrior, man.
Cleveland wouldn't trade for him. The Knicks won't trade for him. The Celtics wouldn't trade for him. The OKC wouldn't trade for him. San Antonio. I mean, there's a lot that. Listen.
Yeah. Okay.
I
believe he's going to be on the trade blocks.
I agree with that, but I don't think that every team.
Okay. Yeah. I can roll with that.
Yeah, I don't think
25 will.
Who's 25?
Literally 25 teams to trade for him.
Oh, 25. Well, yeah, I think you're right on that. I think I can see that. Let's talk about Golden State too, man, because obviously they made the Jimmy Butler move and everything else. They lost last night, but Golden State, their points per game has been going up. Their style of play has changed. Dugard thinks one thing, and I'm going to disagree with. I know what he's going to say because he posted something on this, and we were going back and forth with this. He's going to probably disagree with this. I don't think that they're going to get out of this. I think they're going to get to the playoffs. I don't think they're going to get past that first round because I think they're too small. You know what I mean? Now, if they did,
they are too small.
If they made a move to get a big, which they still can, you know what I mean? I don't know why certain players are sitting around floating and don't have jobs, i.e. Dwight Howard. You put Dwight Howard, get him from China, wherever he is, and just and he ain't got to do nothing, just be a big body and rebound. Now you look at a completely different Golden State Warriors team. As simple as that one dude. You know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on where your Golden State's at right now, Jason? Like, what do you think? Do you think they're too small? They right? The Jimmy Butler thing works. What's your thoughts, Jay?
Hey, excuse me. The problem with Golden State, I mean, yeah, they're small. I mean, there's a few things you can look at. But man, listen, them birthdays are a mug. You know what I'm saying? And Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an aging roster that they have. Draymond, he ain't what he need to be anymore. I mean, even Steph is not, tip top Steph like that. So I don't know how they make a run in a 7-game series against a team that's as young as OKC, a team that's as young as Denver. And even the Lakers got younger, to a large extent. I don't know how they hold up if they got to go series after series after series like that. So I don't think they can go very far.
If I'm them, I would do something drastic. And like I said, I literally said last year, you might have seen this post. I said Dallas needs to trade Luka. They did, and Dallas got better. I don't care what nobody. I've seen them play.
They got better for sure.
They got a lot better. If I'm Golden State, and D, I'm gonna bring this to you right now. You ain't gonna agree. I would
trade Steph.
Yeah, I would trade Steph. I would trade Steph. He's 37. He's about to be 37 in 3 weeks. I would trade him because some team is gonna give you a ransom for Steph. And Golden State now gets right back to it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're a business owner and that's your franchise, it makes a lot of sense to the near future.
Right.
But Steph Curry is very loyal. And he's cut from that cloth like a Kobe. But you got to say to yourself, they should have traded Draymond. They should have never re-signed Draymond. I would have shipped him out. He would have been gone. Right. Dwight Howard is not a bad pickup. I'm hoping they pick him up before the season is out because I believe he can give them what they need in the middle and get them into the playoffs. And then they just see how far they go, what that nucleus look like, and then you decide if you want to clean house or not.
Yeah, I agree with that. Stacey J's in the building, y'all. Stacey, how you doing?
I am well, fantastic, fabulous fellows. How are you all today?
We are doing good. We're talking right now about what you would do if you're Golden State, because Golden State's roster, ever since they made the Jimmy Butler trade, they're doing okay. Points per game, that's better. Defense is better. Jimmy Butler got them doing better, but they're still too small. So we were talking about right now, if you're Golden State, what do you do? And I threw it out there, and I still believe this. If I'm them, first thing I do off season is trade Steph Curry, get a king's ransom for him, because you will. You know what I mean? Somebody will give you a king's ransom for him. But what's your thoughts on if you're Golden State and your upper management or ownership? How do you handle this situation? Because they're old right now. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm not 1,000% sure on what they need to do, but I know they need to do something and they need to do it quick, because exactly what you just said, they are old. Steph Curry has more of his best years behind him than he does in front of him. Draymond, and I feel like Draymond works best in that dynamic with Steph. You've noticed that sometimes their production does dip when Draymond isn't in the game or in the lineup, but that's something they might just have to figure out. They are small, and they are going to have to adjust their game a lot if they really want to be contenders and compete again with the league in the direction that it's going with the level of play. So they are closer to a reorg and a restructure than a lot of people might think, just because you said it, Frank, they are old.
Yeah, 100%. Jason, I hate to talk about the Lakers every day, but honestly, because they're in the news all the time, and Luka played phenomenal. Like, he did play phenomenal, but I watched a lot of the game. I liked what he was doing. He missed a lot of shots. Of course, you ain't going to hear that on the highlights, and he missed a lot of shots. To me, he looked like he doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like, he is the team of the future for the Lakers. I just think right now, as of today's date, whatever today's date, I don't think he fits with the Lakers. I don't think he fits with the style of play. You know what I mean? Like the way they run their offense and the way they try to run it. Because if you watch it, and I'm not going to get too technical, but it looks like the Lakers right now try to run everything through one person and do the one post up move. You know, they're trying to do that, and it seems like it's not working because every time he's getting the ball, he's quick to pass it. He's not playing like himself. You know what I'm saying, Jason? But I'm putting too much words in the mouth. What's your thoughts?
Well, this just goes back to what I was saying a few days ago when y'all were anointing him like the king of the NBA against Utah in
But
that
you
first
also
game.
said you could beat him or score. What'd you say? 20?
I give Luka 25 right now. For real.
That is more what we were talking about. It's not.
Give him 25 right now.
Lord,
But
And he's serious too. Don't play. He's
no,
serious.
I'm dead ass.
Yeah.
You know, but with him, you know, like I said, my issue with Luka as to why I'm not sold on him as that dude like that because his game is so inefficient.
Mhm.
And when he went to the Lakers, I was like, okay, it's cool, but what the Lakers need is somebody who's a knockdown shooter. Excuse me. He's not that. He shoots in the low 30s, you know, when it comes to the three. He's a volume shooter. And Bron, he ain't gonna be out there just shagging rebounds, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, when they got shooters around them, you know, with Connect and the other kid out of Oklahoma. I'm forgetting his name right now, the other white dude.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Mhm.
They're shooters. You know what I'm saying? So if Luka has to get 40 shots a game to get his 25, that's not gonna work in the structure of the Lakers, and it's showing up right now.
It's
Especially if
definitely
you don't guard.
It's definitely showing up. Daniel Dugar, comedian extraordinaire.
Yes.
Talk to me about
Yes.
your sports acumen.
I
When looking
I
at this movie.
personally don't believe Luca will be with the Lakers long.
Really?
Whoa!
I believe Luca is the bag to get the ransom.
Explain.
a bargaining
I
chip of
I
there.
absolutely bargaining chip. Absolutely. They got him. So now
Expiring
they can
contract, right?
say,
He's under contract.
yeah, but the thing, but this is how I look at it. Luca is a value, top 5 player in the NBA. The way he plays is not Laker ball,
No, it's not at all.
but the way he plays, he's volume. But we got him now, so now we can look at a team that has some young horses and say we can get this guy. Give us 5 of them cats over there, or 3 of those guys, and 2 future first round picks. Y'all can have Luca. I don't think Luca is built for LA, just like I
Mhm.
don't think he's built for New York. I think he's more of an in the middle America type of player because if he doesn't do good in LA, he can't handle the scrutiny. LA will get him out of there.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not designed for New York. So I think he is the bargaining chip to get something even greater.
Wow, I
You
like
want
the
something,
way.
Dugar?
And that could happen in the next 2 or 3 years. But right now when you look at how they're structured, it's Hachimura, Reeves, and Luca are the 3 players in for the future for that team.
See, D, what you're saying makes sense. The only problem is the Lakers are never without a star. So if he's not there, who's the star?
Hey man, y'all could say what y'all want to say. Reeves is gonna be an all-star in this NBA.
I like Reeves, man. And I like Connect.
Reeves is going to be an all-star in this NBA. I promise you that.
I don't doubt that, but my only issue is, will he be a star in the NBA at the time before they get rid of Lucas? The reason why I'm even questioning you with that.
Well,
Because
here's the thing. You can use Luca to get some stars.
oh, I see what you're saying.
I
Yeah,
like what
I
you're
see what
talking
you're saying.
about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Yeah, you got
That's
it.
Ant-Man.
why I believe he is the bargaining chip.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see now that was
I can
yeah.
see them
Turn
in
out how,
Minnesota for Ant-Man. I can see that.
yeah, yeah.
Come
Like
on now. Come on
yeah.
now. Let's not see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you sound like a black Einstein over there now. He would be perfect for Los Angeles.
Ant-Man would be
He
perfect
has
for
the
LA.
energy, the swag. He would eat Los Angeles up.
and that's very doable because Ant-Man is not going to stay in Minnesota because Minnesota, when his
And you
time
make it
comes
a
up,
three-way trade, so you're going to get other players. I could see it
yeah,
happening.
the money is the situation. The money is the big deal. But I'm gonna drop something on y'all in a second. But Stacey, take a look at this situation for me and tell me what your 10,000 feet up in the air, look down at the lake, it looks like to you.
I think Mr. Duggar brought up a very interesting point and perspective there. And I haven't heard that angle. And with the PowerPoint presentation, you definitely can make that make sense. So that's very cool. No, for real. Like you put it on paper, but all he needs is about 4 or 5 slides. It's already making sense. But back to Reeves. Yes, Reeves is a star. But the question is, will he be superstar level for the Lakers? Because the Lakers are used to those big marquee names. I don't think that Reeves, even though he is very talented, he is good, he is a star, his name alone would be enough to stand and fill the shoes of the LeBrons, of the Magics that have been there, of everyone else that have been mega superstars. But I do think that Ant would be someone that would be able to do that if they were to use Luka as a bargaining chip.
Go ahead, D. You want
And
to say
and
something?
and piggybacking off my sister here, when KD went to Golden State, he was a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Steph was a superstar. Clay was the borderline superstar. So
Mhm.
using Luca to get an Ant-Man and maybe get another player in there, 2 superstars, and he just stayed the all-star, it can work.
Woo. Okay, we're talking about superstars. I read something today off of a website called Shot Coverage. They said the Heat, the Mavericks, and the Rockets are all expected to make one final push to get Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? The crazy part about this is that they also said the quiet runner-up, all of that is Minnesota. You know what I mean? And from the math, here's the crazy thing about this. That's why what Dugas said makes sense. From the math, if they bring him in, Ant got to go. You know what I mean? They can't have the heavy contract of Kevin Durant with Ant-Man. You know, they can't. But they probably would be able to work something out because they don't have the same kind of clauses with Luka. You know what I mean? It's just Luka don't have that big, great contract. That's why he was able to move because he, as we all know, he was about to sign that big contract, that big, hefty contract that with no trade clause and all that.
376 million,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. But guess what?
Mhm.
Since he got traded before that, a lot of those clauses got out the door. He has a very tradable contract and it's very movable. What's
I
your
would be
thoughts on?
fist fighting in the parking lot if you made me miss out on $375 million.
I'm trying to tell you, and I lost $116 million right out the gate because you decided I was going
Because
to
you
lose.
want to play. Because you
Yeah.
want to play. Absolutely not.
Jay, you got to talk about this, man. What you think about this Kevin Durant move? Because if this Kevin Durant move happens, that one domino effect will affect like a good 7 teams in the NBA right now. If Kevin Durant goes to the Heat, the Mavericks, or the Rockets, especially if he goes to the Mavericks right now. You know what I mean? That
Right.
woo.
Well, I mean, I think like the way that the salary cap is structured, excuse me, I think that every team can accommodate 2 max deals.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I don't think
I disagree.
Minnesota has anybody worthy of a max deal outside of Ant. So they could do Kevin Durant and Ant at the same time, but again, how do you build the team around them moving forward? I mean, DiVincenzo's still good or whatever, he's not gonna command a whole lot of money. You can do that, but I don't know what assets the Heat would even have to even
Mhm.
give up in a trade for him. And the weird thing about the
Yeah,
NBA is the money has to match.
right. And the Heat
So
mathematically doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they
yeah,
even put that.
it's
Yeah, it
tough.
don't make sense. Yeah, I don't see how that makes sense. D, can you imagine literally Kevin Durant with the Mavericks? Because now we know he likes to play with Kyrie. You know what I mean? They got Anthony Davis there. Let's not forget about that. And they got a whole bunch of young horses up there, and they got length and height. And if he was to go there, they might lose 1 or 2 players, but they still be formidable. What's your thoughts? Oh, my man.
In a perfect world, Clay would have to go bye-bye. One of them big dogs would have to go bye-bye, and maybe 2 of them big dogs would have to go bye-bye. Um, him going play with Kyrie hasn't proven that they're going to win. We saw that.
Right.
So I Dallas does have the pieces, but I would scratch that. I think Kevin Durant, some way, somehow, is going to end up playing for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Ooh, I highly disagree with that. I don't think. Okay,
But
but
think about it. The Lakers can give them. KD has how many years on his contract? 2.
two more.
Maybe two.
Two
Yeah.
more.
So you can get rid of Hachimura. You can get rid of Reeves. You can get rid of gosh, what's that brother? What's his name? Is it Reddick or something like that? What's his name?
That's the coach.
Yeah,
No,
JJ
it's a brother
Connect?
over there.
The Ricky.
Connect.
No,
Yeah.
he's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah,
No,
Connect.
there's another brother who was a top pick in the draft 2 years ago. But you can ransom all of those guys out for KD.
Yeah, but why would you do that? Because that's
So
the
you
Why?
have-
Look,
Yeah.
the reason why is because you have a prima donna over there named LeBron James.
Oh,
LeBron got one more year, bro. One more.
And LeBron will do whatever it would take to talk to the family, whatever you do. I don't care who you trade. We need KD.
Whew, Stacey, I don't know about that.
He's done that in his career. He's done it throughout his
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, he has. He has.
And they are in
Stacey-
win now mode for sure.
Exactly.
Win now.
I was just about to say that. So the only way that it would make sense is if KD comes there and whoever they get rid of or they have to move around in order to accommodate KD's contract, they aren't such pivotal pieces that is going to throw off everything, throw off the balance, throw off the support that they need to win now. Like we're talking 2 years max of potentially what would be KD's entire contract. So if you're moving too many pieces, too many support pieces, too many bench pieces, too many pivotal pieces, because the deeper you go into the season, the deeper you go into the playoffs, that bench matters.
Yeah.
So if you're moving too many pieces that seem small but play a larger part in the grand scheme, then it's all for naught.
So what you think about Houston, Stacey? What you think if KD goes to Houston? Because they got horses. Those boys are doing work.
They ain't
They
going nowhere.
do. They do, but they just got rid of Brandon Ingram. I didn't pay attention to who they got there in his place.
No, Houston went to Brandon Ingram went to
Brandon went to Toronto
Toronto.
He went to Toronto. Yeah.
from
and-
New Orleans. From New
From
Orleans.
New Orleans. I'm sorry.
Right.
I do
Right.
it. But I don't hate Houston,
Mhm.
but KD is also older and he is also in win now mode. Houston with the pieces that they have, I feel that they can be very good contenders in like a year or two, but I don't know if bringing KD there will put them in like win now mode. But I do like him to Houston for a longer play.
My man Kev
If it's
said
possible.
Kev said Cam Reddish. That must be the man you was thinking about.
Yes,
Cam Reddish.
yes,
Cam
yes,
Reddish. That's the kid I'm
yes.
talking about.
Yeah.
So with LeBron being how he's wired, he would give up the whole bench because he would believe the players that he has and some role players would be enough. That tall white boy, that center in Utah, is another guy you need to look at who somebody's going to go after. I thought the Warriors were going to get him, but I guess Utah wanted too much from Golden State. Houston Rockets, don't touch that team.
Mhm.
Don't
Yeah,
touch
but
that team.
add
Don't
to it.
touch that team. My cousin just had them in the game, and he says Houston is one player away
Yeah.
from an NBA championship. Odoko has them boys on the same frequency that he's on. And I live in Houston. Houston is on fire with these young dogs. They
Yeah.
got ballers.
Fair to say, I think Houston Rockets have the best team they've had since they won the NBA championship. I think,
They one player away from winning the whole thing.
Dave, the business bully is back, bro. We
Yes.
talking about the Lakers. We talking about obviously the way the Lakers are playing right now with Luka. That was the topic that we were going around in a circle with, and everybody gave their thoughts on Luka blending with the team. What's your take on this?
I mean, I'm going to look at it honestly. Any move the Lakers make is going to be tainted by the GM, LeBron James. Like, as long as he's in the front office and not paying attention to the backcourt, we're going to continue to have the problems that we're having. Period, point blank. And I say we because I feel like, as a child, the Lakers were my team. Even though I'm a Sixers fan, like everybody loved the Lakers. How do you not love the Lakers?
Oh, I can tell you how.
Except for they absolutely
I didn't.
stuck right now, Frank. They listen, bro. Hoover would give their left arm
Yeah,
to find out how to suck with that much power. It's amazing to me. When it comes to this KD situation, we got to be honest here. It's over. We've already seen what his real plan is. His real plan is to go around the league like Thanos, collecting jerseys the way Thanos collected Infinity Gems. Like, it just does not make any sense to me. And then you also have to look at the fact that any team that you put him on is either going to have to find a way to get beneath salary cap, or better yet, wait for it, is it possible that maybe our president will give us some reparations, and then we can start an expansion team? Frank, stay with me. I think with his pedigree, his name recognition, and the fact that he has not seen a comb since 1863, if we just move a team to Columbia, South Carolina, and call them the Carolina Cotton Pickers, Kevin Durant could play on that team.
I knew you was going there. I knew it was coming. I knew the brush was coming. I knew it was coming.
What do you mean?
KD's biggest mistake was leaving Golden State.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was his biggest mistake. His ego, his emotionals, lack thereof, emotional intelligence got to him.
Yeah, but that was Draymond Green's fault. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. We know that. But I'm just saying,
He didn't like being bullied.
had they worked that out as men in-house, build a common denominator to build off of, and he stayed, Golden State would probably have one or two more chips.
Well, on that note, I can't even dispute that, because I love arguing with my man Daniel Dugar. On that note, thank you for joining the show, Dugar. I don't know where you are in the world. I don't know if
I'm home. I got home last night.
Okay.
Home for 8 days, and I get back out on the water. Here's the crazy thing, not to take. I get home last night. I go through my front door, and I hit the code to go in, and I'm going through. 2 birds fly in my house.
Whoa.
So here I am, midnight. My wife is like, what's going on here? It's 2 birds in here. I caught one with a butterfly net, and I opened the door, and the other one flew out. It was crazy.
That's supposed to be good luck, right? I don't even remember.
I don't know what it is. It just seemed like a movie. It was weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Tell it what you're doing this weekend, bro. You working? Where you at? Dugar.
I'm home. I'm home for 8 days, and then I go back out on the water on the 23rd.
Okay, how can we find you? How can we follow you, find you?
Daniel Dugar Carnival. That's my IG, Daniel Dugar Carnival. That's where you can find me.
Thank you for joining the show. Dave, the business bully, tell us, everybody out there, what you're doing, how to follow you, what's going on, your world.
Hey, man, you already know. BusinessBullyShow.com is my website. You can get all my books there, all 21 of them, on social media at The Business Bully. And listen, shout out to Daniel Dugar, because he does absolutely everything, including serving drinks on that damn Carnival cruise like Isaac from the Love Boat, and I am here for it. God bless that man, because the last time Black people got on a boat, it ain't work out too well. We got a lot more than 2 chains. So,
hey, man, it's a ship. It's a ship. It ain't a boat.
See, I don't get on them.
I'm sure they told them that too.
Yeah. You're gonna go to a whole new world.
Hey, no, I'm just saying, hey, they call it. I said a boat a couple of times, man. I thought they was gonna throw me overboard. It's a ship.
Okay.
It's a
Not
ship.
during Black History Month.
Yeah,
Let's
during-
make
yeah,
it
We got
right.
maritime beef out here. It's a ship.
Filmmaker Jason D. Hayes is in the building. How can we follow you, bro?
Hey, JD Hayes on all the socials, man. And this weekend, I'll be in these Brooklyn streets, watching movies and just hanging out, man, keeping it cool.
You going to see Captain America this weekend, bro?
I'm going when we get
tomorrow.
off this phone. I'm going
Tomorrow,
tonight
bro.
when we get off this horn. I'm going tonight.
Yeah, I don't even know
It's
if
already
I'm going to
booked.
See, there you go, being a light-skinned supremacist again, Frank. You do
No,
need to see this
it's
movie.
not
It's a
that,
black
man.
Captain America.
It's not that. It's just that I've seen so much on TV of. I don't know.
Take
I
your
have a
ass to
feeling
the
it's not
movie,
gonna be
Frank.
good. Huh?
Be black. Be black for once.
And go.
Do I have to call Mrs. Holder? You're going to this movie, Frank. Black
Well, I
people
know what
need
day
to
I'm
know.
not going to see it, which is tomorrow. I know I'm not going to see.
You gotta go. You gotta go tonight, the day
gotta go
before it
tonight.
drops.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
Saturday.
I'm going tomorrow.
Saturday.
Got my
Stacey-
tickets already.
There it is. Stacey J. I don't know how you going on Valentine's Day. I got to talk to your wife, Jason, about that. I don't know how she allowed that.
She going with me.
See, she must like it a lot, because other than that, I don't understand how a woman is going to want to sit Valentine's Day to see a man. Man movie. I don't.
Wait, Captain America is supposed to be a man's movie?
It's not,
Well,
but
yeah,
Frank is a misogynist as well as a light-skinned supremacist.
News to me.
That's
That's why
funny.
he
Like,
wears the hat. Because he is. He's a skinhead. He's a light skinhead.
Not the winter
Take your hat
soldier
off,
of
Frank.
misogyny.
Stacy, what I mean is it's a movie geared towards men. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Stacy, tell everybody out there how they can follow you.
You can find me at darn that Stacy J on IG or Stacy X Sports on TikTok. I most likely will be reviewing a book that was complimentarily given to me. I did make up that word. It is, look it up in the dictionary. By the Business Bully. So yes, I've just bullied you into, gifting.
Yeah, I understand.
I'll review it. I'll give my honest review on my
Send
Instagram.
me the address. I got you.
There it is. I like the way you did that. Dave,
That was
she's
smooth.
going out.
Yeah, she got one of my books. Now I got to go to the damn post office. You see how they do?
Trying to tell you. Thank you all for watching the show. Thanks to Steve in the background, known as White Chocolate. Thanks to Kev. Got to get ready to get up out of here. The time is always at me. We'll be back on tomorrow, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Finally, and we're going to discuss, obviously, NBA All-Star Weekend. There's a couple more things I want to talk on. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks.
Peace.
Thank you all. Thank